going to be a couple of busy days, and I wanted to just take you along for the journey. I've been really busy with work and I can't really share, or I don't really want to share too much about it because it is work related. In case you are new here, hi, my name is Brenda. I am a 30-something that works and lives here in cloudy and rainy San Francisco. And my 9 to 5 is being a paralegal. I got a couple of things going on in the background aside from YouTube, and this week is particularly busy. I have been working from home. I am gonna hitch a ride with a coworker. We're going to head to one of the office locations for this little thing that we are doing, this extra, in a way it is an extra job. So we gotta go and do that. So this week is a little busy and a little more chaotic because I do have to travel to this other office. So tomorrow I'll be going into that office and then catching maybe a ride with my coworker to our usual office. And then I think Friday I might also have to travel to that office. So it's a little bit of a chaotic and very different type of week, and it's a lot of stuff going on in the background. So just thought I'd bring you along. It is post Super Bowl weekend, and so the city is less busy, there's less chaos happening, it's a little bit nicer, perfect timing for the rain to start. Things should, take a little bit of a slower turn, but it is going to be Valentine's Day this weekend, and I have some plans that I'm excited to take you along for. I am gonna take some Capri Sun. I'll just take 2 for the road. My coworker loves Capri Sun, so I'm pretty sure she'll appreciate this. In our jammies. I really like this onesie, except it's kind of very deep cut. It is what it is. I am gonna put a sweater over it because it is chilly up in here. I have my little fussy socks on, and while my computer is charging, I thought it would be the perfect time for me to, to go make myself something to eat for dinner, because I have not had that. I mean, I do have to do the laundry, but also gotta figure out what I'm gonna eat for dinner. I went and bought groceries. I have to cook said groceries, which does not sound like fun at all. So I really think about what I'm gonna eat before I get started with editing. It's already almost gonna be like 8 o'clock. But I chose this. This is on me. All right, this is dinner. Nothing fancy. It's just some salad mix, some yellow bell peppers, cheeky nuggets, and some ranch because, oh, and some cheese because that's what I had in my fridge that I could whip up quickly and just make myself a salad. Of course, there's a lot of cheeky nuggets is what I realized, but hopefully this is filling enough. All right, it is a beautiful morning. It was so gloomy earlier today, and right now in the distance you can see all of the clouds that are like heading they're heading that way, which is kind of odd to see, but you know, it's gonna be allegedly rainy today, like a little bit. I don't know. I got ready for work today and I really was trying to layer up, like have different layers. It is cold, but yesterday while we were in our meeting, which lasted a few hours, it got really, really hot in the conference room. So I was trying to make sure I didn't take anything too heavy, but here we are. This morning has been a bit hectic. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. It's a lot going on. As you can see, I am home. My coworker was like, well, you know, I'm kind of thinking of working from home. And we were going downtown. I was like, you know what? We should just work from home. We deserve it. We've had a pretty busy morning. And as you can see, I changed out my jeans. It is so cold and jeans make everything feel colder. And I mean cold obviously for San Francisco, and obviously my apartment, I'm sorry if you can hear the person yelling outside, San Francisco, but my apartment is not that warm. I do have a radiator. The jury's still out on whether it even works. I do leave it on. It just makes my apartment regular cold versus like extremely cold. And I do have a space heater, but I'm using it in my bedroom for my fur ball. I know, I made my own life choices. I'm fine. I'm wearing a sweater and I changed into a comfortable jumper. It is about to be 1. I think I have about an hour to empty my brain of everything from this morning and shift my focus into translating mode. Unfortunately, I'm sure that other people who speak 2 languages at work might understand what I am talking about, but it takes a lot of brain power for your brain to spend however long you need to translate going back and forth between languages. It's a lot of brain power. It really fries the hell out of your brain. And right now my brain is already like pretty fried. So I need to figure out in 1 hour how to get my brain back to like a normal working mode so that I can do 1 hour and a half or however long it takes to translate. This morning's meeting was successful. I am officially done with that commitment. I gotta make sure that I express and that it's known that I will not be joining the next meeting. I'm not continuing with this work thing. I am done. I cannot. One of the things that I've discovered and I want to work on a lot more is drawing a clearer like line in the sand between home and work. And I feel because I was a part of this group and a part of this project, that line in the sand was very blurred, like just ate into my own personal life. Now that this is done, I feel like if I take a back seat, I'll still be active when needed, but I really very much just want to draw a huge line in the sand and take back my time, essentially. Like I want to take back my time, make sure that when I'm at home, I'm doing stuff that is selfish and that is for me. So like get on those projects I have, home projects, like DIYs that I want to do more craftsy things, be able to keep up with chores around my apartment, because it's been a lot harder to like juggle everything. So better at juggling my chores and taking up hobbies. Like I really want to start scrapbooking. Like that's been on my mind for a few months now. And so now that I'm done with this, I feel like draw that line in the sand and leave work at work. And when I'm here by myself at home, I want it to be about things that I enjoy or my personal problems, like now I actually have time to focus on that, but I definitely want to focus more on nurturing my creativity, because I feel like these past couple of months, my brain has been thinking so much about work, and it's time for work to take a back seat. It doesn't need to be my whole life. But I just wanted to share that with you in case you're going through something similar. And it's not that I am so passionate about, well, maybe I am passionate. Maybe I don't think that I am passionate, but I guess I must be if I took a part in all of this that happened. But I just I'm like, we need to take a backseat. I need to just shift the gears. I guess this would be a reminder for you to, it's time to draw that line if possible and do something for yourself. After having a very long week of just work and craziness, it's finally the weekend, and it's a 3-day weekend. Blow drying my hair, I decided to try and so I used a Revlon, this one, and then I just grab my hair, like wrap it around and just twist like this all the way until it reaches the bottom to kind of give a little bit of a curl. I'm not going to separate this yet, and it's obviously not perfect. The point was, I just wanted to get a little more oomph in my hair, just because I feel like it. If you are someone who doesn't really like doing their hair, like I don't like doing my hair, it's such a hassle. And I've tried the hair straightener, like to do a curl. It doesn't work for me. I use the curling thing. It feels like it takes forever. So if you're like me, I recommend this. However, I don't feel like if you already have a blow dryer, if you already have a method, or anything like that you need to buy this. Honestly, for me right now, if I could, I would buy a Dyson or a Shark, but my priorities are not that, because I have this and it works fine for now. Maybe one day I'll change it up. But this is a hair. I'm probably gonna see if I can start running fingers through it. Who knows how it's gonna come out? I think it's gonna end up probably going a little flat, because that's just been my hair. And also I feel like the hair protectant, I use the Revlon, no, the Tresemme one that's like black and red. That one, I do like it. The issue I feel is it weighs down my hair, or maybe the combination of that with every other hair product I use might weigh it down. I'm not completely sure. The hair today, the makeup, I just need to go and change, but feeling good. It's always nice to have a nice little blowout for my hair because I feel like I'm always letting it look so crusty, and I mean it is looking extra crispy nowadays. Like I have for next week I scheduled my hair touch up for the balayage because like my roots are growing out a little bit, just to get that touch up done, and then a haircut so I can get some of the little dead ends trimmed and add some more layers back into my hair because I feel like I still have some layers but they're not as defined, and I like having layers because I feel like it just, for at least for the way my hair works, it makes it look like I'm trying, versus like if my hair grows out too solid, it becomes too frizzy, it becomes too weight. Like it's just, there's a lot of things that go on with my hair. I am getting all dolled up because today's Valentine's Day, and no, I do not have a Valentine. I don't like Valentine's Day. It is what it is. But this year I signed up for the BART Valentraine. So BART is essentially San Francisco's Bay Area, not San Francisco's, but like the Bay Area Rapid Transit, and it is like a subway that connects different parts of the city together, and they are hosting their second Valentraine. They did it last year, it was sold out, that's why I didn't go. I also found out about it a little late and I was hesitant, and I hesitated too long. But this year I started texting people. I was like, hey, you're single, you want to join me on the Valentraine? Like, that's kind of essentially what I did. One of my friends is currently in New Orleans celebrating Mardi Gras. It is what it is, it's fine. But my other friend, Nicole, who I featured a lot on my vlogs, she actually was willing to do it, which when she watches this, she's gonna be like, oh, what an assumption. But I kind of assumed that she wouldn't want to do it because I'm pretty shy, and she's also pretty shy. And she can sometimes hesitate on certain things where, depending on my mood, I'm just like, all vibes, you know, like I do things for the plot. Essentially, if I think something sounds like it's gonna bring some sort of fun and spark into my life, then I'll do it, which is not always great because there's a lot of things that I've done where I'm like, I'm doing it for the plot, and I probably shouldn't be doing it for the plot. We have to be at the 16th Street BART station at like around 5-ish, and then they'll start giving us our assigned trains. There's 3 trains, and my understanding from the email and overall is that this train is making no stops. So it's just like bullet, I don't know where it's going, I just know it's going places, and then it will eventually come back to 16 Mission and drop us all off. And in that time, you know, it's basically speed dating. You are talking to whoever also signed up for the Valentraine. Now, my experience in the past has been that these type of like dating social events don't always go as I would imagine. I went to an event for a new dating app, didn't work out, but I went because I thought it was cool, and it was like mostly for people here in the Bay Area. And I showed up and I was like, okay, the proportions were really off. Like it was like predominantly women and like very little men, and this was like for the straight people in their 30s to look for someone, and it was mostly women and like very few men, and the very few men that were at that little gathering only would talk to each other. So the girls were trying, and they were just like not really, like they would talk to you for a little bit and then like not really talk to you after that. So I'm kind of hoping this is not what this Valentraine is, where it's just like a bunch of girls, 3 guys, and the 3 guys don't want to talk to anyone but each other about video games. That's what I'm up to, and I'm just gonna bring you along for it. Again, I'm doing it for the plot. A Valentraine, like everybody I've mentioned I'm doing this to are all like, that sounds like the coolest thing ever. So I'm pretty excited about that part. Do I think I'm gonna meet anyone? No, and it's not me being pessimistic, it's me being realistic about things. And I feel like dating here in San Francisco in the Bay Area is very, very difficult. Me and Nicole, we are like, it is what it is with the Valentraine. We don't know what's gonna happen there. Like our expectations are just like, we did it for the plot. We got back to 16th, and then we go and just like go to a bar or go to eat something and just spend Valentine's Day together and just see what's going on out there. So those are our plans. So that's why I also want to look cute, because there is like after Valentine's events that me and Nicole have very roughly discussed. How was it, Nicole? I got back a few minutes ago from just hanging out with Nicole and spending Valentine's Day, you know, together as a non-wees, which I think right now we're probably like the only ones in the little friend, like close friend group, long-term friend group that we have that are still like mega single, and after tonight continued to be mega single. I just wanted to check in and kind of like give my thoughts as they are fresh in my mind about what the Valentine's event was like. The TLDR of it all is essentially, I would do it again. I think it was a very interesting experience when you don't have any expectations of anything coming out of it. This is only their second year. I think they definitely still have some work to do on like the logistics of everything. I mean, it is a lot of coordinating that they're doing. Nicole got there a little bit later. Then we find out that she's not even on my train, because this is what the name tags kind of look like. So you would go and register, and then they would tell you what train you're on. I was on the green train, and then it would ask you to put your pronouns and like what you're looking for. I believe the green train was probably people over 28. I think the red train was Gen Z, and maybe the yellow train was like for the queer group, and then the blue train was for whoever was left over. I don't really remember, but they did divide people. So people that were going in the green train were all straight and were over a certain age. And the same thing, I think, for people in the red train, they were all Gen Z. But I don't think I don't really know, actually. Yeah, I don't know how they divided. I'm gonna scratch all of that because of the way that they did the registering. So I bought 2 tickets, and I forwarded Nicole the survey that they had sent me. She filled it out. So when I got the email from BART that said like, in case you haven't done the survey, please email us, I was like, oh, she did the survey, like we don't need to do anything. Turns out they never received her survey, so she was not on the green train with me. She was put on the blue train, which meant that we were both being forced to actually talk to people. So I mean, it's not that hard, especially I think with girls. But the thing is, like, for a lot of us, it's like we don't have any issues talking to girls, like to make friends. Like we don't have that issue. Like I am very shy, but I don't have an issue talking to other girlies, you know? My issue is talking to guys. So it was, I think that was like the hard part of it all, was like it was predominantly girls. What ended up happening was we had like the little thing where people were doing bingo, and then they had like the leaders, the team leaders with the flag, and started gathering people. And the guy for my team, his name was Tom. He was really nice guy. He was really funny. And he was explaining to us like, okay, so when the train arrives, we have 60 seconds to get on the train, or else the train leaves without us. So we have 60 seconds to coordinate everyone into this train. And I was like, oh, I can totally see how that's gonna go awful. Before the train arrived, they started, you know, herding the groups downstairs to the train, to the platform, and there was still trains running. So there were still regular people taking the train, getting off the trains. There was a guy with a walkie-talkie who was like talking to the conductor to check where are they, how long until they make it to 16th Street. And so that's how that was coordinated. And, you know, they were moving us up, trying to make sure that we had enough space, that we would board the train. And so whenever a train would arrive at the station, it'd be like, no, don't get on, nobody get on, nobody get on. And like for our team, like, you know, for the people that were there for the Valentraine. So it was like really confusing because they're like, no, this is not our train, don't get on. If you get on, you're not on the right train. And then finally our train arrives and like we all go in. And while they're like trying to make sure that everybody's in the train, that everything's good, some older gentleman got on the train because he didn't know what was going on. He was so confused. I thought that was like a funny little moment because it, like I said, it was still operating as usual. BART was operating as usual except for this one train. I do wish that they would like do something to train to decorate it on the outside, like instead of saying Millbrae, it would have said Valentraine, you know, like something cutesy that they could have done, but the only thing that they did was inside the train, they replaced all of the posters with the Valentraine poster. And once we got in, the guy was trying to explain to all of us using his like little megaphone, like how it was gonna work out. So the way it worked was all of us were to sit down because there was enough, according to the calculations, there was enough seats for all of us to sit down, and I think there was. And then he explained the people sitting by the window, they get to stay and the person in the aisle gets to rotate. And for the people that were sitting like I was, which was like facing forward, like side, you know, so this is like usually the normal, I was like on the side. The people by the door, me, would have to rotate and the other person would have to stay. And I was sitting to like next to these girls that were like so funny. The girl that I was with for the first round, she was high as a kite. It was the funniest thing. Like she couldn't stop laughing. She was a very sweet girl, but it was so funny that she was so high and she just kept giggling and like, but everybody was super duper nice. Of the girls that I taught, even the guys, but like it was mostly girls that I talked to because of the way it was set up. I don't know where the guys went, and I think a lot of the guys were sitting by the window, so they weren't rotating. It was the girls, which was bad. And I didn't think about it until I sat next to this girl who me and her actually like ended up on the BART Instagram because we took a selfie together. She was like, have you talked to any guys? And I was like, yeah, like I've talked to 3 so far. And she was like, I have not talked to a single guy. She was like, why are they sitting by the window? Like they haven't rotated. I haven't talked to anyone. And so I kind of felt bad, but she had really good feedback, which was her feedback would be for the girls to sit by the window, make the guys do the rotation instead of the girls, just to make sure that we're all getting to talk to them. And what they would do is they would ring this cowbell when like the 4 minutes was up so that you would rotate, and you were supposed to rotate clockwise. Well, once I get to this guy, I think I haven't even made it halfway through the whole train when the leader, Tom, he was like, okay, you guys can commingle. I was like, what? I haven't even like talked to anyone. And the girl who I had just talked to, who was complaining about not talking to any guys, I'm like, the guy that was coming her way hasn't even made it close. Like he's like still on the opposite side. So I think in that sense that the Valentraine needed a little more organization, but it was a good experience. Like it was an interesting experience. I also would give the feedback that BART needs a Valentraine's merch. They need to sell sweatshirts. They need to sell stickers. People go nuts for those things. Like there's so many people on Valentraines wearing the BART Christmas sweaters that I also own. And so I'm like, this is your opportunity. You just set up a table and you start selling merch. People are gonna buy it. Like, especially because the Valentraine train is like so freaking cute. Like I would love to have a pink sweater, even though pink, you know, but whatever. I would love to have a pink sweater that has like a BART, cutesy little Cupid BART on my shirt. Like I would love that. And I think that's something that BART should definitely do, is put in more money into the merchandising for Valentraine. I think they would do great. It was nice to do it because now Nicole and I have gotten the experience of, you know, doing speed dating. And Nicole, she said that she'd be down to do more speed dating. So I had seen a couple of groups and apps that do speed dating, so I definitely might be checking that out and see if I can get us in to do some speed dating. This is the worst position I could have probably thought of, but I have my little light on like the lowest setting, and it feels just so comfortable and cozy in here. Plus it's kind of raining on and off. However, I just wanted to wrap up the vlog here. I could use my fancy camera, but I just don't feel like taking it out and taking out the tripod, which I put away when I was cleaning, just to get it out of my way. Because again, visual clutter, it kind of overwhelms me a little bit. Anyways, you probably hear the sound of my radiator. I finally turned it on. Apparently I turned it off at some point, and I do not remember when that would have happened. Probably New Year's. Well, probably before New Year's or on New Year's. I probably turned it off and then just forgot about it and thought it was on this whole time, and it was not. I'm gonna end it off here. I want to thank you so much if you made it this far into the video. And if you liked this video, encouraging you to subscribe to continue catching up with what I'm up to. And with all of that, I will catch you in the next one.